Previously on Search4Hurt, ex-Aussie triathlete Matt Murphy spent most of his honeymoon in the USA training with some world-class athletes in preparation for his crazy idea.
Oh, we're gonna make you hurt. That's what you're looking for.
His plan is to complete a large number of endurance events and train with Australia's top athletes, sporting teams and trainers in just 4 months.
I think that's what you call the hurt box.
Matt's just finished up training 4 days in a row, which started off with the Richmond Tigers, then the Melbourne Rebels, then 2 days at a mountain bike event called Bike Buller. And on top of that, he scooted off to train with the Australian Wallabies too. Now, the Search4Hurt team head back down to Victoria to the land of the Penguins, Phillip Island, where the biggest obstacle course event in the world is taking place, Tough Mudder.
And of all the events that we were doing with Search4Hurt, this one I really wanted to have a really good crack at. Even though it's not a race, the top 10% of the field gets to qualify for the world's toughest mudder, which is held in America in November.
This extreme competition that Matt's talking about puts the world's most hardcore tough mudders through a grueling 24-hour challenge to find out who's the toughest. And competitors have 24 hours to log as many kilometres on the extreme Tough Mudder course as they can.
So Tough Mudder is actually being held on the Phillip Island Grand Prix track. So we're actually walking where the cars are normally racing, which is pretty cool. And we'll be running back up here, hopefully running, not walking, tomorrow.
Well, the guys are pulling up at a beautiful campsite on Phillip Island, so Elise can weave her magic again.
So, night before the Tough Mudder, Matt's leg's been playing up, his right leg's been playing up pretty much since Bike Buller. Getting a bit of pain around where, we thought the ITB was attached. We thought it was ITB friction syndrome. It'd be a little bit sore.
The action of the ITB and its associated muscles is to flex, abduct, immediately rotate the hip. In addition, the ITB contributes to lateral knee stabilisation.
So we're going to do a bit of massage, and then we're going to do this thing that we actually saw on a YouTube clip. We were looking up ITB treatments, and there was a guy that was talking about how when you're massaging the ITB, you're pushing it in on it all the time, and he used a plunger to actually use suction and pull the ITB upwards. So we bought a handy little plunger at a supermarket. See if we can get him good enough to get through 20 Ks tomorrow.
Sort of the only... there's nothing that... The pain that you get is nothing... the pain in a run is just much worse than this. And it just, every step you take, it just pinches and pinches and pinches, and then eventually the pinch gets hot and it rubs on the burster and it just sucks. So this, it might hurt, but I hope it's worth it.
Ready?
Yeah, it feels good. Feels a bit looser, and that's the trick, because you just got to take the pressure off just here, so.
Matt's feeling a little better. So now for some serious race preparation.
Phillip Island's got a bit of everything. Going to go down the nudist beach just here near the campsite. No, how nice is this?
This is what I call race preparation.
today. We've got about 20 minutes before the start, and there are just people everywhere. It's insane. Like, I've never ever seen this many people this early at a race. It's crazy.
You are the very start, the very first Melbourne Tough Mudder event. It is 20 Ks designed by British Special Forces to test out all-round fitness, toughness, strength, stamina, and true mental grit. Are you ready? Not everyone is going to finish. That is a statistical fact. Alright, some of you are going to get hurt. Others will simply quit. But for those of you who do finish the 20 toughest kilometres of their life, will earn their orange headband and they're right to call themselves a Tough Mudder. Are you ready? So please raise your right hands. I said your right hands. And repeat after me. As a Tough Mudder, I pledge that. I say tough, you say mudder, tough! When I say kanga, you say rude, kanga! Kanga!
Coming up, how does Matt fare against 25,000 participants? We're currently at Tough Mudder. The atmosphere is absolutely electric. Tension and nerves are building. And Matt is up against a field of 25,000. Most of them are here for fun and to challenge themselves. But there's some who dare to push their bodies as hard as they can.
That's awesome, man. Oh, that's awesome.
So here we are. After approximately 20 grueling kilometres with obstacles mixed in, Matt passes through the dreaded electric zappers and is the first person in Australia to cross Tough Mudder's finish line in first place.
Was it worth it?
I thought I was going to blow one of my legs off on those.
On those?
Oh,
What do you say to all the people about to go?
it's a long way and it's hard.
Matty, you still haven't crossed the finish line yet.
Well, right through there.
Time for a beer, right?
Yeah, head. Round of applause.
Come on, Matty. Show them how we win down under.
When in Victoria, do as Victorians.
How'd you go?
Yeah, good. Ended up finishing first. Yeah.
Yeah?
Not that it's a race or anything, but some guys were pushing hard. So. Yeah, you know the log hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't keep up. You couldn't lift it. Go grab a beer. Do you want to go grab a beer?
I'm really glad Matt went well today. After meeting Hobie Call in America, he has really found that he loves these races and really wants to do well in them.
Going back to when Matt met up with American unbeatable Spartan obstacle racer Hobie Cowell, Matt definitely got inspired and is quickly getting a name for himself as one of the greats in obstacle course racing.
Are you going to kiss your mother?
No, it's tough, guys. Be ready, don't you worry.
Yeah, I'm James from Campbell's. Just roughly worked it out. He's averaged about 4.5 minutes a K over 18 kilometres, plus all the events, which is just an insane time. So he should be really commended for it.
And then to see Matt at that, what they call that wall, Tanya, Mount Everest, that was absolutely unbelievable. He just ran up there like he was just climbing over the fence.
So I'm Sam. I've been trying to film Matt today, or trying to keep up with him at least. We're down at one of the obstacles down the back, and thought we had at least an hour before we'd see him come through. So we had to rush and pick up the gear and quickly set him up.
After the break, we'll take you on a tour of the Tough Mudder and also see how everybody else spends their time during the day. Then the team head up to the Gold Coast as they've just heard of this crazy new workout that has almost everybody running scared.
Yeah, it's something else.
Matt's just finished the 20-kilometre Tough Mudder obstacle course among 25,000 and crosses the line in first place.
Round of applause.
Now it's time for a tour.
Okay, we're at the top of Everest, which is kind of Tough Mudder's signature. It's a massive water pipe that they wet down and put soap on it, and you've got to run up it. I don't know that you'd be able to do it on your own, although Matt did, but most people hang around to help other people, which is it's good to see the teamwork.
So we've made it down to what they call the Turd's Nest. As you can see, you've got to get over the cargo nets. When I got here earlier, we just roly-polied across it, but now there's some little bridges. Just be careful not to get your foot caught and fall over, because you're pretty tired by now.
So this is Twinkle Toes behind me. Balancing beams, quite thin, covered in mud, so really, really slippery.
By now, a little bit later in the day, they're pretty slippery, so if you haven't got that up your body strength, you end up in the drink.
We have a nice say.
What would you say to the mudders at home?
Get off your ass! You're missing out.
We like to call it the cross technique, single over shoulder technique, or the cradling it technique like the ladies. How's the log treating you? Going all right?
All right.
Go on, give me a few press.
2001.
So we've made our way down to the ball shrinker, or donga dangler they call it. There's plenty of different methods, as you can see. So the hand over hand, some people wrap their feet around. I had to let go because my Achilles was starting to burn on the cable, but once again, plenty of upper body strength needed, guys.
One of the most popular parts of any obstacle race is always the giant slide. You actually get up a huge amount of speed. We're going to try and get people to zap themselves, but it's a little bit mean. See, they're going to do it anyway. They keep...
So there's two things on this one. You don't want to be afraid of heights, and I hope you can swim. Because as you can see, both elements are in this one, and the water's pretty cold as well.
After an exciting day, Matt and Elise decide to take a short break and head to the Gold Coast to celebrate and relax. But there's one more little celebration to be had on the way.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Elise. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip. Hooray. Hip hip. Hooray. Hip hip. Hooray. Why was she born so ugly?
So we found out about this thing called the zoo just through Twitter. We were up in the Gold Coast and, you know, put out that we were in the area doing a session, and these guys pretty much put the challenge out and said, come over to our gym and experience the zoo. I had no idea what this was, and we thought, okay, we'll give it a go.
Thanks for having us, man. And the energy that yeah, we get when we walk in. I'm sort of just a little bit out of it.
He's excited.
Yeah, I'm excited.
He's
So,
excited.
mate, what's Zoo, man?
We say liberating human movement, and it does that because it reminds you of the strength through range of joints that you should have and that you did have. So when we were kids, if you watch little kids and the way they move, they have true strength through range. As we get older, whether you're an athlete or an everyday person, you lose that strength through range.
And I got a couple of the tweets from like people from the West Tigers, the Brisbane Lions, and they were like, "This guy knows how to hurt, man." And I'm like,
no one worried for us.
I'm like, he's got no weights. He's just got a bit of floor space. How hard can it be? Session starts, and no wonder they call it the Zoo, because this guy, he seriously is off the hook straight from the jungle. Like, it is awesome. Like, the movements that we do and the way that he places them all together, yeah, it's something else.
Breathe in. Breathe through your lactic. Flat.
I've done my fair share of gym sessions and workouts, but within less than a minute, I knew I was in trouble with this one.
This next one's called nose to thumb. Same position. Your objective, get your nose to your thumb. We train now with the NRL, AFL, Super 15s and Tactical Police. So with gym strength, you can get, as we spoke about, really strong and set planes. Outside of those, you can be really weak and vulnerable. Zoo has the ability to tie that together, so the correlation or the percentage loss from the gym to the field is reduced dramatically. Shot loose. Come on, crank it, crank it, crank it. Come on. Isa. Let's. Wah. Break the lock in your arms. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
The positions that Nath was showing us, he just made it look so natural, but we just felt so uncoordinated. It was, you know, we didn't have the flexibility or the strength, and yeah, we just felt pretty silly compared to him. He was just amazing.
You got your work right. Go on, go. Roll to go. Three, 2, time. Woo! Yep. Good job, Timo. Let's do some bar stuff. We haven't done some bar stuff. Okay, this is a 2-minute drill, roughly 2 minutes. Your objective is just not to come off, okay? Yeah, 40 seconds. Welcome to the zoo, brother. Woo!
So we thought it was hard at sea level.
And then Nathan said, let's go to the altitude room.
Your objective is just not to come off, okay?
So we thought it was hard at sea level.
And then Nathan said, let's go to the altitude room.
I'm gonna grab a quick drink, we'll head upstairs. So for me to take myself to what I class as red line, at sea level is really, really hard. I can probably only do it once because other factors come in, fatigue and all the rest of it. In this room, I can do it within 2 or 3 minutes, and I can do it again and again and again and again and again. So mentally, this room's fantastic. So altitude training, if you cloned yourself, your altitude clone would beat you across the board, hands down.
0 to 10,000 feet. We walk into the altitude room. Nathan goes to us, guys, the door slides, it doesn't pull. And I'm like, why is he telling us this? So he goes, oh, the other week one of our athletes went through the door because he was a little bit stressed at altitude. So just remember it slides. And I'm like, this is gonna hurt.
Well, let's go, come on.
So the idea at altitude is that you pretty much just get fitter. Your body has to work harder to get the same result because there's not as much oxygen in the air.
Hey, good body posture. Hands off head. Hands on hips.
It's the hardest thing I've ever done.
We did it probably 15-20 minutes at sea level. They just finished the session up here at Kryptonite. We call it Kryptonite because it's the slayer of superheroes, which is 10,000 feet, 17% oxygen. It's hard to explain what you go through in physiology in this room. For those of you who've been to altitude, you'd understand that your breathing's really laboured, let alone doing movements that work on diaphragm in you or breaking your breathing rhythm. They both did really, really well. I'm actually surprised at how good their mobility is. Fantastic. Their ability to dig deep, especially Matty and talking Lee through it, fantastic. So, big tick from Zoo for Search4Hurt.
Man. Oh, man. I'm dizzy up here, bro. Oh, man. I'm bugging. Let's get down to sea level.
Digital display right there.
That's it.
The hardest thing though, I think, might be trying to learn their language.
Isa. Gorillas. Wah. Isa.
Next time on Search4Hurt, we're back in Matt's hometown for yet another footy code. It's skills and fitness with the A-League champions, the Central Coast Mariners. Then to an amazing and historic place to do the Marysville to Melbourne race. It's an ambitious challenge involving a run, bike and ski over a grueling 157 kilometres from start to finish.
Unexpected things coming our way, don't you worry.